Good morning, my true crime besties. This is Bed Crime Stories podcast, and I'm your host, T. I'm sending you positive vibes for a really good day. Yesterday, the RCMP announced that they are conducting forensic examinations on, quote, materials found during ground searches for Lilly and Jack Sullivan in Pictou County, Nova Scotia. One of those items is a pink blanket that belonged to Lilly. According to the RCMP, the blanket was found near Lilly and Jack's home. But what does that mean, it's being tested forensically? What it means is that it is being tested in the lab for potential evidence that could help in a criminal investigation. So them saying that underscores that this case is a criminal investigation at this point. What are they looking for? Well, it could be DNA evidence, such as blood, saliva, semen, skin cells or hair from a suspect or other individuals. Even microscopic biological traces are enough these days to generate a DNA profile. They'll be looking also for fibers from clothing or other objects that may have gotten transferred onto the blanket. They'll be checking for soil and plant material that could be linked to a specific location. And although it's pretty hard to do, they can even lift fingerprints, apparently, off of something like a blanket. They'll also be doing chemical testing on the blanket. This can tell them if there are drugs present on that blanket. To me, that's a really big one in this case. We've heard rumors that the stepfather, Daniel Martel, went into the trailer's bathroom, and when Malayo's relatives went in there, they say they saw evidence of use of what I'm going to call Bam Bam. It is a illicit drug that rhymes with the word Seth and starts with an M. They'll also be looking to see if they see any blood, and the pattern of the blood, if it's present, will be very important. That can tell them if there was an injury to a person possibly wrapped in the blanket, or if the blanket was used to wrap a body and then move it. So although it just sounds like a tiny detail that they are forensically testing the pink blanket, so although it sounds simple to hear they're forensically testing the blanket, it could prove to be a crucial piece of evidence in the case. It is really odd to find a blanket said to belong to one of the missing siblings in the garbage during the period when that child went missing, and also that another piece of it was found down the road. Either it was legitimately taken down the road to stash it, or somebody planted it, but somehow that piece of blanket made it a distance away from the home. We also know that the stepfather, Daniel Martel, at one point said it was Lily's blanket, then he said it wasn't Lily's blanket. Unfortunately, anything Daniel Martel says right now is not going to be trusted 100% because we know that he has told different stories, which of course sadly points to potential foul play on his part. Or maybe foul play on Malaya's part and he's trying to cover for her or for both of them, allegedly. And the latest drama and gossip is that Daniel Martel supposedly went to his visit for Meadow at Child Protective Services and was with another female. Daniel vehemently denies that he had another, quote, girl with him when he went to CPS. Some people are saying, well, the girl was in the car when he went in to see Meadow because they would never let another person like that in with him to see the child under these circumstances. We know now that Daniel's mother did speak up on a private chat. The owners of that particular chat did not want that information shared, but of course people went in there, they grabbed it, and they shared it. It's really hard trying to walk the line between being, if you say I'm not going to share this, then you really shouldn't share it. You want to have your integrity. But then when other people get a hold of it and other creators share it, and you, of course, didn't get the scoop, it's a little painful too, I might add. But honestly, to me, my reputation is important, so I'd rather not scoop something if I'm going to get nailed by the people who asked me not to share it. Now, tomorrow, the interviews with Janie McKenzie, who is Daniel Martel's mother, and a relative of Malaya's named Darren Geddes are going to be aired on CBC. That's the Canadian Broadcasting Corporation. From what I'm told, they're going to air at 6 a.m. Canada time. I don't know if I have that time right in terms of Canada time. I just saw that people were saying it's going to be at 6 a.m. and the people who are saying that live in Nova Scotia. And those interviews are going to be available online. So, of course, that is going to be what everybody is scrutinizing tomorrow. Janie is also sort of shifting her story a little bit, I think. Now, instead of saying that she saw or heard Malaya with the kids down the driveway, the story has changed to they were outside her trailer, which would be very tight quarters and very close to that other trailer. And the story is that she didn't actually lay eyes on the children. Janie is also saying that she did let the RCMP into her trailer. It's been searched twice, or it was searched twice on Friday and once on Sunday, right when Lilly and Jack had just gone missing. Janie apparently warned them about her dog. She said she didn't let the dog near the kids either. People have said it's a small dog, but it sounds like it's not such a small dog. And actually, Janie described her dog almost in human terms. She said, this is his property, and especially in the trailer, that is his domain. You can tell that that dog is very precious to Janie, which I get. My two cats are like little human beings to me. And to me, Janie sounds most upset, not necessarily about Lilly and Jack going missing, but about the fact that she can't see her grandchild, Meadow. She's very concerned about how Meadow is processing all this, because apparently when Lilly and Jack would walk in the room or would come near Meadow, she'd get a great big smile on her face, which is so heartwarming. You can just imagine this baby smiling at her two little siblings. But Janie is really angry that she can't see Meadow, and she feels that Meadow is probably suffering inside because she doesn't know what's going on, and she's not seeing the people that she used to see, Lilly and Jack, around her. Janie describes Meadow as a very intelligent little baby, a smart little baby. She also said that Malaya was so attached to Meadow that whenever Janie would come in the trailer and maybe be holding Meadow, that Malaya would come and grab the baby and take her in a back or in the bedroom and separate her from Janie, and she wouldn't come out again until after Janie left. And Janie said it was the same thing with the grandfather. I think she's referring to her husband, Earl, that if he was there, Malaya would scoop the baby up and go in the bedroom. And Janie almost made it sound like Malaya just simply did not want them interacting that much with Meadow. And Daniel has kind of alluded to that as well, that Malaya was all about Meadow, and that she basically stopped caring for Lilly and Jack and focused all her attention on this baby. Janie also described a time when Malaya had an anxiety attack. I can't remember why she said she had the attack. Maybe she didn't even say why. But it was so bad that Malaya had to go to the hospital. So Janie was the one who went to the school bus to get Lily and Jack off of it. And she went down there holding baby Meadow because she was babysitting Meadow because Malaya was at the hospital. And she said she had to go take the seat belt off of Jack. So she handed Meadow over to the school bus driver. And she said he's a great man. And he looked a little surprised when she handed him this baby. But apparently, let's see, how did that go? She let Jack off the bus. They all went back to the trailer. Sorry, I was distracted. My cat was scratching the post here. And then as soon as Daniel got home, he went right into dad mode and he made dinner for them and he fed Lily and Jack. He made sure all of them were taken care of with food. So Janie was saying, so yes, Daniel did help take care of Lily and Jack. A lot of people are skeptical about Janie, though. They feel that she loves her son Daniel more than anything and that she chooses to believe everything he tells her. And so a lot of things they think that come out of Janie's mouth are basically things that Daniel has fed her. And then Janie also pointed out how Malaya, when she was on camera that one time, was not hysterical about her children being missing. And Janie said, believe you, me, if my two sons, if something happened to them, I would be hysterical. And I would be that way even now when they're grown men. Like, how can a mother be so calm and composed when her two little kids are supposedly missing? And that is really questionable. My brother went missing for 2 days and I was hysterical. I was out of my mind. I was running around to the police, doing police reports, missing persons reports. I was posting all over the place. I was putting up posters. I was ruminating and thinking the worst. I was even looking in dumpsters. Thank God we found him after 2 days. I could not have bared for him to have something bad happen to him outside, all by himself, vulnerable. I didn't realize that he had come down with dementia. I would imagine a mother would feel that same way, especially about two little kids, ages 6 and 4. This case is slowly devolving into a circus, much like the Sebastian Rogers case. Apparently, Seth Rogers did a live the other night, and he mentioned how there's like 11 detectives working on Lily and Jack's case, and Sebastian maybe only has one assigned to his case. Here are my current thoughts about what happened here. I am leaning towards some sort of accident that both affected Lily and Jack somehow. To me, that spells maybe some substance lying around the house that they got their hands on. Because it is really odd to have two little kids disappear at the same time. What are the odds of that? I also think that Malaya is being silent, not because the RCMP told her to. I think she just is trying to keep her mouth shut on the advice of her lawyer. I think Daniel took a different approach. He was trying to weave his own narrative. The problem is he changed details of it, so it makes it look like he's not telling the truth. The fact that the two of them are being kind of cagey makes it seem like they might both know what happened and they both have a mutual reason to not tell the truth. And that could be they don't want to go to prison and or they don't want to lose Meadow and the other kids that Daniel has. And this case is also complicated by the fact that Malaya has native blood, and there is all this speculation that somehow she's hiding out on what they call the reserve. We call them reservations. In Canada, I guess they're called reserves. And that somehow the tribe, I guess, is hiding the children, protecting the children Although the chief, who happens to be a female, which is just wild. I never thought that there would be a female chief. My bad. I mean, we've come a long way, ladies, but who knew? She is very offended that people are saying this, and I think it's because she wants to make it clear that they would never harbor children like that and be deceptive with the RCMP. So 2.5 months into this, we still don't know what happened to Lilly and Jack Sullivan. That's the bottom line. And the only person who seems to not have a stake in keeping the truth hidden is their paternal grandmother, Belinda Gray. She was the first family member to come out and go on camera and be interviewed. She basically has nothing to lose. She wants to know what happened to the kids. She's been torn apart, of course, by people, including Janie, who was sort of like, well, this lady wasn't in their lives. She wasn't seeing them. That doesn't matter. There's all sorts of weird stuff that happen in relationships that can ice one of the parents out of the picture. I think of Bethany Frankel of The Real Housewives of New York City. When they were filming that show and she was married to her husband, I can't remember his name right now, she went to his hometown and met with his parents. They lived in a modest home. She went to a bar where there were pool tables to hang out with his friends. It was very not Bethany Frankel. And I wonder now, because we see her child with her all the time, she calls her child her nepotism baby, I guess. I'm really curious to know if that child sees its paternal grandparents. The grandparents don't have the power in, relationships like this. They can't impose themselves on their grandchildren. If the mother and the stepfather, or let's call him the boyfriend, is trying to isolate them. All in all, I just look at this property and I think that was not the greatest place for Lilly and Jack to be living, and those were not the greatest people for them to be living with, especially if it's true that Daniel Martell went into the bathroom to play around with that Seth. That's all for now. Please like, share, and subscribe. Smashing that like button is really important. Also, if you want to support the work I do, I have a membership fee of just $1 a month. And honestly, that would really help me. I could make the videos that I want to make instead of trying to appeal to the ones that most people will watch the most. As soon as I get through all my family issues with sick people and problems, I hope to do more lives. So becoming a member will become increasingly important. I also want to do members-only content because you deserve something extra for that $1. But honestly, if my loyal subscribers would just give me $1 a month, it would make a huge difference in my life. And it would take the pressure off, let me say. All right, enough of that. Have a great day. Love you guys.